What's up, guys? Kaufman is a live YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at an old comic book, X-Force number 8. This came out in March of 1992, published by Marvel Comics. This is off of the original X-Force run by Rob Liefeld, the creator of this title and series. And he's on the cover here. And he's on a couple pages to kind of begin the comic and at the end, so he's kind of on the wraparounds, but we get a treat because this is actually the Mike Mignola issue of X-Force. He's like a fill-in artist on this issue. You might recognize his style of artwork as soon as you see it. He's done a lot of work on Hellboy, his creator-owned comic book, but he's done tons of work. I remember seeing him on Superman. He's done some X-Men annuals covers, just all sorts of stuff. A very prolific artist, filling in for Liefeld here. And I did a review a few days ago of Spawn Kills Every Spawn number 3 that actually homages this cover. Right here, I'll just give you a quick look at it in case you missed that video. And just the other day I did an Youngblood number 1 review. So kind of bring it full circle here. I'll just do this Rob Liefeld X-Force comic with the homage cover that we saw on Spawn Kills Every Spawn number 3. And we'll get to look at the interiors here, but without the Rob Liefeld interiors, we got Mike Mignola. So like I said, though, we start with just the beginning of this story with Liefeld's art here. We've got Sauron, who's just killed Sam Guthrie, who's Cannonball. We got Boom Boom here, who's like the girlfriend of Cannonball. And of course, Cable, who's the mentor, essentially. And Cable has this like flashback as Cannonball's dying. And so we kind of flash into Cable's eye. So a really cool way to like show that that's happening here with this panel. And we're thrown right into this battle like 10 years in the past, and it's the Wild Pack, which is this group that Cable had before X-Force. Domino is actually in that group, so him and Domino have a connection from before X-Force. There's also this character Grizzly, GW Bridge, Kane, and Hammer are also some members of this group. So we got a GW Bridge here on the cover here with this kind of wacky looking color on the costume, and just all the pouches everywhere too. There's just like an enormous amount of pouches on all these guys. It's kind of funny. Even Domino, she's got like just this whole. Hopefully there's ammunition in there, some bombs, something. Maybe they keep snacks, their chapstick. But awesome art here by Mike Mignola. He loves drawing these like really big figures with like the little legs here, which Eric Larson kind of co-opted for Savage Dragon as well. But I feel like Mignola really was the first one to kind of perfect that style here. And he brings it with this Grizzly character, so it's a great character for him to be drawing. And it's a big red guy too, a lot like Hellboy, so he kind of even looks like Hellboy. The plot here in this comic really doesn't matter too much once we're in the flashback. It's just Wild Pack trying to grab this MacGuffin object from Hydra, and then they're going to sell it back to AIM. So they're basically like these mercenaries, and they're just working for whoever the highest bidder is. We've got Fabien Nicieza doing the writing here. It says Rob Liefeld's on script. In plot here, it says the framing sequence art. And we got a guest inker as well, Bob Wycheck, who's doing the inks for Mike Mignola. It's kind of funny on the credits here that they're just having fun with them. For Fabien Nicieza, it says he's the guest writer, Guessed, guest writer. Chris Iliopoulos is the Jest letterer, Jest. Steve Buccellato is the dressed colorist. And then Bob Harris is the editor. Tom DeFalco is the editor-in-chief. So they're having a little fun with the credits there. I always like to see that. Again, we get some really heavy inks here from the inker, and that's the kind of style that Mignola always works in as well. Just really dark inks. As you like see on like the shadows, they're just like super dark. Not a whole lot of like sketch lines like you're gonna get with Liefeld. You just got like sketch lines everywhere. All these little cross-hatching lines. Mignola just has big, thicker lines, so it really works for this dream sequence too. I really feel like the Wild Pack as well kind of reminds me of one of those random like Youngblood teams too, where it's not like if X-Force equaled Youngblood, Wild Pack would equal like the Berserkers or somebody, where it's not, they're like Youngblood adjacent, which is basically what Wild Pack is here. So again, the plot doesn't really matter. They're breaking into this Hydra base. Baron von Strucker kind of notices them here. He says that he's going to blow up the base. So they've got to body slide out of there. This is a really cool page with Strucker's face in the background. They're kind of looking. This is them looking at Strucker's face. So they escape out of there, and he actually does blow up the base. Cable says he can't believe, he's surprised he actually carried out his threat. And they meet up with these AIM guys to give them the object that they found. And the AIM guy just explains the object actually doesn't work. They just needed the Wild Pack to go in there to show them what the Hydra base looked like, to see what bombs they were working on. They got all the information they needed. But they do pay the Wild Pack. Really like this panel here of them like in the desert about to separate here. Got the moon in the background. Some really kind of cringe scripting though going on here. This is Kane, and I really like this drawing of Kane, but he's like, cool. We kicked the living baboobies off of everyone again, didn't we? Including ourselves, I guess. Stay frosty, Cable. Just really bad dialogue. Kind of all throughout this for like every character. There's some like kind of cringe jokes that Domino tries to say in this book too, like talking about Grizzly. Let me see if I can find one of them here. Yeah, he's like, this is GW Bridge. He's like, some rear support would be appreciated. She's like, I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Then Grizzly's climbing up this side of this wall here. And she's like, where is it at? She's like, ooh, he's like, where's Bridge? Grizzly says, under me. She goes, that's a frightening thought. So, some sexually charged jokes, if you can call them that, by Domino. Given to by the scripter, Fabien Nicieza. So we get a Youngblood ad here, which is really interesting because obviously this is Rob Liefeld's creator-owned book, but it's being promoted while still in the pages of X-Force, while he's still doing X-Force even. So he's already announced to Marvel clearly that, you know, he's leaving. He's starting his own series here. But Marvel's still got to be putting out his X-Force books. He's just off this issue. He comes back for the next few issues of X-Force and finishes those up before he leaves for good. And I'd also heard that, and I don't know the full story, but that Mignola was actually supposed to have the cover on this issue that he drew. But I think Liefeld might have pulled some strings to make sure that his cover actually got put on this issue. He wanted, I think Liefeld wanted all the X-Force books to have his covers, even if he wasn't doing all the interiors, which we got up until about issue 10 or so. So I think there was some controversy, maybe a little falling out between those two. I'm not quite sure over that Mike Mignola cover that didn't get put on this book. I'm pretty sure that piece did eventually get released. I was looking for it earlier. I couldn't find it. If I do happen to come across it again, it's a big splash page of like Cable and X-Force. It's really cool. But we finished this issue up here of kind of flashing, going back to where we were at the beginning with Cable battling Sauron here. And he's learned that Sam Guthrie's an external, and he's still going to be alive in like the 24th century. So he's trying to figure out if that's legitimate information that he's been given or not, because he thinks he's just seeing Cannonball die. So obviously we'll find out in the next issue. But it's really jarring though, going from the Mike Mignola stuff to this Liefeld drawing with just like a million little cross-hatching lines on Cable's face. And you know, they always say the more lines you put on a person's face in a drawing, the more age it puts on that character, which maybe that's what Liefeld's going for here. He's trying to say Cable is just like been through thousands of lives, time traveling, so he's super old. But that's how we end this issue, with Cable confronting Sauron and basically saying he's not gonna let Cannonball die in vain here. And we get a splash page of Liefeld doing Cable, pretty awesome. Looks like something he'd reused for profit a few months later. But a really cool drawing nonetheless. It's got that extreme style for sure. We see a Gideon tombstone in the background. Nice little touch there. We get another Liefeld Cable pinup here. This one's actually going to be coming out as a cover for the Cable Bishop miniseries that's coming out in a month or two. And they're reusing this drawing here. They're repurposing it for a cover. I think it might even be a foil. So that's it for this issue. Get some letters, pages from people here. We find out Rob will be back in the next issue. So really like the art in here by Mignola. Again, not much of a story to this comic book at all. We do get kind of the reveal that Cannonball is an external. So nice cover though, kind of a classic cover. Reminds me of the stuff he's going to be doing in Youngblood coming up here after this, back in '92. So thanks again for watching. If you like videos like this, please think about subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.